Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to episode 45 of the DGA podcast. I am your host, Vince, and with me in the virtual studio is a very sick...
Idly.
She forgot her name for a minute. That's how sick she is. Yeah, she has the flu or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to try and take it easy on her today. But we still wanted to release a podcast because we still want to recognize our Patreon supporters, and today happens to be May the 4th, and, you know, you Star Wars fans out there, May the 4th be with you. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. I'm a huge Star Wars nut. Yeah, anyway, she doesn't care as much as I do.
Well, I mean, I got the background of Felucia, right, in the background.
Yes, that's totally Felucia in the background. It's not some stock model background. Yeah, anyway, no. that's completely fine. This is going to be a very Star Wars heavy podcast. Sound effects are all Star Wars.
Come cheer up, my lads, 'tis to glory we steer, to find something new in this world.
Totally Star Wars. What?
Nothing.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, it's very funny. So anyway, the title or the whole goal of this podcast is to go over at least my favorite Star Wars games. I think Idly has a couple of them, but she hasn't played as many as I have. Mm-hmm. So these are in no particular order. These are just games that I've played throughout the years that I really enjoy. These are both board games and video games. So we're going to be alternating between them. I try to list the video games first, then we'll jump into the board games. I don't have footage for all of them, but I tried to do the best I could. So with that being said, we'll just jump right into it, because I don't know how long this is going to take. And again, we don't want to keep you talking longer than normal. So okay. We'll jump right into it. Very professional, like, okay, there we go. So the first game I wanted to talk about was a game called Star Wars Rebellion. I guess before we even get into that, can you tell me how many Star Wars games you think are out there?
3.
Yes, there are 3 games
in my head.
There are 3 games out there. 3 in the entire video game market. There are 3 Star Wars games.
Right off the bat, I can think of 7. Right off the bat. 7.
Okay, so
7.
In your guesstimation, how many
8.
would you guess there would be? Video games
1,200.
Released throughout the years. You're not wrong, but you're wrong.
A lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. In fact, we'll just jump into that real quick. I had to go on the wiki. I counted. Well, kind of. There are over 100 different video games that have been released throughout the years, starting from like the early 1980s, possibly even earlier than that. But I mean, I was a kid of the 1980s, so that's what I'm most familiar with, at least early on. But we'll get into like some of these, but there's a lot. There's over 100 games, so clearly, and I haven't played all of them either to know whether or not they would be considered a favorite of mine.
Monopoly Star Wars.
Monopoly Star Wars.
Love it.
Oh yeah, Star Wars Pinball. There's a bunch of those. There's even like educational ones I saw. Like there's Yoda's Challenge. Yes, Jar Jar's Journey Adventure Book. Clearly a favorite. Pit Droids, Jedi Math, Jedi Reading, Jedi Trials.
Wow.
And then I had one of these, side story, the plug and play on the TV when I was a kid. It was the lightsaber battle. It was a huge lightsaber in like a short blue thing. You waved it at the TV. There was a Death Star sensor that you put on the TV, and it would register your movements. It sucked. It didn't work. The NES light gun worked better than that thing did. But still, like, there's a lot of these things that... Didn't we try I could have sworn there was like a Just Dance or a Kinect Star Wars.
I have a Kinect, I have Just Dance, I have...
I could have sworn you made me try a Star Wars one at one point, but I don't remember what it was. No? Okay.
No.
I could have sworn there was a Star Wars one involved somewhere.
I think you dreamed it.
Probably.
You wished it.
Yeah, but there's mobile and smartphones. Like there's Ask Yoda, mobile phone 2005, Puzzle Blaster, Jedi Assassin, Cantina, Tiny Death Star, I've played one or two of these, but StarWars.com had their own line of games. Ewok Village, Force Flight, Garbage Mash. I can only imagine what some of these look like. But anyway, long story short, there's a rabbit hole full of games that I clearly just can't touch on because I've never played 75% of them. But the first one I want to talk about was Star Wars Rebellion, and this one was released pretty early on. And graphically, it shows. I mean, graphically, it doesn't hold up very well, but I think Yoda has something to say about that.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
Yes, yep, exactly. Sorry.
This is my third one.
This is, okay. You mean the one that you've written down?
My third one on my list, my favorite game.
Okay. Yeah, again, they're in no order for me, but it's interesting. Okay. But you like this game. So
I do.
To quickly sum it up for you folks, Star Wars Rebellion it's a grand scale strategy game where you either pick the Rebels or the Empire. There is no Resistance, there's no Rey, there's no Kylo Ren, there's no Jar Jar Binks. This is the original trilogy stuff, because that's all there was back then. And you pick either the Rebels or the Empire. And your goal is to defeat the other faction. The Rebels start in the Outer Rim, as is typical, and they're trying to stay hidden under the radar long enough to build up their forces. They need to capture Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and take Coruscant, which is the home world. Or as the Empire, you're trying to find the hidden Rebel base, which can move around, and also capture, I think, Luke Skywalker and Mon Mothma, who is the president or the leader of the Rebels. So, like, and in the meantime, you're capturing planets or using diplomacy to get planets to your side. There are 30 different characters for each faction, but you have to recruit them. Like, only Darth Vader and Palpatine can recruit, whereas on the Rebel side, Han Solo, Luke, Leia, and Mon Mothma can recruit. So, like, the Rebels have an advantage when it comes to recruiting people. So, like, this game is huge, but the Empire is massive in force. They can build the Death Star, Superstar Destroyers. They can pretty much wipe out the Rebels quickly if they find them. So, I love this game. Graphically, like I said, it doesn't hold up very well, but at the same time, like, once you learn it, it's so good. It's so good. What did you like about it?
When I first played this, you had gotten it for me, and I was like, oh, this is really just
janky,
not my thing. It's janky, it's hard to understand, there's no instruction, the tutorial is just a bunch of reading, and it was so hard for me to get into. And I tried it over and over and over again, and I really couldn't get into it until one day you actually sat me down and you literally explained every nook and cranny, like, of this game, and it finally clicked, and I couldn't put it down. I remember playing this for hours and hours, and I could not put this down. It was really a lot of fun.
It's not very intuitive. I still have the original Prima strategy guide somewhere in my storage. Those are like the strategy books that they used to sell at bookstores. You know, those were our, like, wikis from way back in the day. We would go to the bookstore and buy these Prima strategy guides. But yeah, like, the game is not very intuitive at all. You can find it now for about $2 or $3 when it's on sale. It's totally worth it. But again, graphically, it's a little rough around the edges. You need someone to explain this game to you. It took me months on my own when I was younger to figure this game out, because I loved it so much. I was so invested in the Star Wars universe that I wanted to learn it, but I don't think I could have stuck around to learn it if I didn't care about Star Wars that much, if that makes any sense. So yeah, this game is amazing. If you want to learn more about it, hit me up on Discord. I could talk about this game for hours. But we have other games to get to. Is there anything else you want to say about it before we move on?
It's really interesting. It's all about management of spaceships and crew, right?
Yeah, there's resources. There's mines and refineries. For every mine and refinery combo you have in your galaxy, in the universe or whatever, you get 50 upkeep maintenance points. And each troop costs maintenance. So if the Empire comes in and destroys a whole planet of your refineries and mines, and you lose all that maintenance, your ships blow up over time because you can't support them anymore. So there are so many different like strategies. The Empire can just directly attack a fleet and usually win. The rebels can use infiltrators and capture enemies and blow up things. The Empire can do these things too, but still, like, the rebels are better at it because they're like hit and run experts. But it's good. I enjoy this, so I will.
Oh, wait, put your weapon. I mean you no harm.
Yeah, I'll stop talking about this, and we'll move on to.
I didn't even hear that. Like, it cut out.
That's okay. It's fine. It's just Yoda talking.
Yeah.
So the next one I want to talk about, there's two of these. Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was originally released back in 2005, and then EA DICE released a follow-up in 2017. Now, the Battlefront series has undergone remasters, and like the originals in some cases are better. So what you're looking at here is the original 2005 version with mods. I recorded a quick video when there was a Star Wars Battlefront collection that recently came out that got negative reviews all across the board because it was so expensive, and on top of that, it didn't really fix the problems with multiplayer and lag, and it didn't really improve anything. But like, what was cool about the original Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 is that, especially with 2, there were space maps, and you could fly in space, you could shoot down TIE fighters and X-Wings. You could also take out parts of the capital ship, the Star Destroyer, the Calamari Cruiser, whatever. But you can also land in the hangar, get out with your person, and shoot stormtroopers, and also sabotage the enemy ships from within. So Star Wars Battlefront, you could set up the game almost any way you want, which is great. That's a failing with the newer Star Wars Battlefront game that EA made, is that, like, with Star Wars, the original games, their sandbox, you could set up like solo versus bots any way you want to. You're not limited on your maps. In Star Wars, the newer EA DICE ones, whenever you play co-op, for example, you are limited to a set number of maps. There are no space maps that you can play co-op against the AI. In order to play space battles in the newer Battlefront games, you have to play multiplayer. You are forced to play multiplayer if you want to experience all of the maps. Whereas in the original 2000 versions of the game, like, you can play space battles with the co-op versus AI. You could play solo versus AI, co-op versus AI. You can set up the game any way you want to. So, like, the sandbox options are superior in the older version, which is really stupid because graphically, like, the newer games are better. I love the newer games, but the older games give you more options. So it's like, it pisses me off that we don't have an updated version of Battlefront that can do everything that the old game can do. But anyway, we've played hundreds of hours in the co-op on the newer one, the newer versions. Did you played the older ones briefly? I bought you, I think, the
collection.
The collection, and then we installed some mods together so that you could play, like, with the new stuff, and it looked the HD and stuff. Did you played it for a while? Did you have any opinions on the older version versus the new version?
I enjoyed both of them immensely. I think I still prefer the newer version, even though it has less content if you don't play multiplayer, only because it's more sleek and it looks better and it's more immersive, I think. But I still love the older version just because it does give more content, and there's this whole huge campaign mode that's like out of this world, and it's I don't know, it's all third person, and I like third person. So
yeah. You can play first person, like in the newer versions. The campaign in Battlefront is awesome. You play as Iden Versio, pretty much throughout the entire campaign, and you go from an Imperial, like, officer, and you become a defector, and you start fighting for the rebels. The space battles in that game are decent, like, compared to Squadrons, which I'll get to later. Like, I enjoyed the space battles in this one. I enjoyed, like, the sounds, the music, graphically, everything is great. Playing as a lightsaber hero is so satisfying in this. It's there is a skill level involved with that. You just can't swing. Your character has stamina, and you really have to manage that. Otherwise, you'll get blown up pretty easily. But yeah, I have so many hours playing co-op with you and family and friends that it's unreal how much time I've spent with this. It's just very satisfying and very fun. And again, I just wish that the newer versions had everything that the old versions have, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Now, you've played... Now, is there any heroes that you like from the newer Battlefront games? Like,
from the newer one, I love all of them, especially Grievous. I think he's probably one of my favorites.
Really? It's so... Yeah. We're so different. Like, it's so weird sometimes. Like, Grievous is my least liked character because he blocks once and his stamina bar is gone. Like, he's really meant to go in there, kill stuff, and then, like, crawl... Like, do his crawl thing and get out, like, real quick. Whereas, like, I like Luke, I like Anakin, any lights, Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars is great because he's super tanky. You know, I like the tanky lightsaber people, the ones that can do a lot. It's just so satisfying cutting through multiple people. But
that's why I like Grievous. He has 6 lightsabers, you know?
4, but okay.
4,
You already failed the quiz.
That's okay. I thought he was a spider for a second.
Yes, well, here.
No.
That's your first incorrect answer of this podcast. There's going to be more to come.
I think I like Grievous only because of his emotes, to be honest.
His emotes? What emotes does he have that
He cracked me up. I don't know, he's such an interesting character to me. He's half robot, half dude.
He has smoker's cough. Like, I don't understand. I don't know if I have I don't think I have a clip of him.
A robot with a smoker's cough. It cracks me up.
I don't understand it.
I just like when he crawls around as a spider. Like, one of his abilities, he crawls around real quick. And I like Iden Versio too, right?
Her grenade launcher is so overpowered. It's ridiculous. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, I thought I had him in here. Maybe I didn't put him in here, but I'll just give you a... Oh, here, wait.
What's the situation, Captain?
Yes, him as smoker cough. I don't understand that aspect.
It just cracks me up. That's like... it's just a robot smoking or a robot with smoker's cough. Just, I don't know, it's so ironic.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Darth Vader had a smoker's cough? Like, he wouldn't be a scare. That's what doesn't make Grievous any, like, he's not scary to me. He's not really a villain to me because of his weird smoker's cough that he's got going. That doesn't scream villainous scary to me. Darth Vader, when you see him come in, force choking people, throwing people around, killing people, that's scary. Well, okay, but they make that scary though with his breathing and all that. Whereas him, General Kenobi, that is not a villain to me. That is like some sort of B-level Bond villain. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like Odd Job or Jaws. Like, I just can't be scared of General Grievous. I'm sorry. I can't.
Better than Mr. Pointy, Mr. Dooku pointing.
Dooku. Oh, he wasn't terrible. I mean, you know, Christopher Lee is a great actor. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I'm talking about characters, just the character in general.
You mean, yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Star Wars.
Star Wars. So anyway, we'll move on from this, but I loved, long story short, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, whether it's the old or the remakes, they are always wonderful to play for me. It's the second one, I mean, the newer ones were disappointing because they didn't have as much as the older versions, but graphically, they just... I don't know. They're so much better, and they're so satisfying to play sometimes.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because in the newer ones, I tried the space battles, and even though it's forced multiplayer, it was actually a lot of fun. But But it just stinks that it is forced multiplayer and you can get your butt handed to you so fast because people are really good at this.
Yes.
So it doesn't make it fun playing the space battles, which really stinks.
Agreed. All right, well, moving on, because I know you probably want to rest your throat a bit. There's another game that I wanted to touch on called Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. And it's not my favorite game, but it's a game that it takes all of 45 minutes to an hour to play. And it's FMV. Like, they bothered to hire actors to come in, sit in cockpits and act. Like, it's so fun. And all you do in the game is you point and click. Like, TIE fighters come in on the screen, you point and click, shoot them. Stormtroopers come in on the screen, you point and click and shoot them. Like, it's that level of gameplay. But in between, like, they bothered to, like, Y-Wings and X... Like, that part of it was... I'm a huge fan of the space battles. So, like, when a game was made that centered around this, I was, like, so happy. And the second one is definitely superior to the first one. The controls in the first one were completely awful. Everything was very floaty. But anyway, did you play this at all? I don't think you did.
I don't think I played it at all. But I have had many games where they would take, like, those CD-ROM games for the computers, for, like, IBM or whatever, where there are real-life actors, you know, in cutscenes. And let me tell you, it is one of the things I actually really hate. Only because it's just so cringy to me, and I want to see animation. I want to see the 3D stuff. I want to see what people can do with, like, art and stuff. So when they hire actors, it's like, nah, I don't care. Like, what if the actor is, like, really terrible?
Have you seen Command and Conquer and their cutscenes?
Yes.
Tim Curry. Have you seen Tim Curry? You know, one of the Cylons, what's her face? Boomer. From Battlestar Galactica. She was an actor in that. Like, there are so many popular actors in the Command and Conquer FMV cutscenes. It's almost ridiculous.
It's weird. It's in a sense it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I want animation. I want to, like, feel like I can really relate to the character or like to some characters. Whereas if you show me Tim Curry, I'll be like, okay, he was from Kong. He was from
Home Alone.
Home Alone. He's from all these other movies.
Yeah, right.
I can't really get immersed into this game because I know who this is. So, I don't know. It's cool, but it's also just a pet peeve of mine personally. So
Interesting. Okay. Anyway, I mean, not much to say about Rebel Assault 2 other than that I have like 4 or 5 playthroughs of it. Decent game. It's just, I mean, gameplay wise, it's just point and click, so it's super simple. So it might be something if you get bored on an afternoon, maybe buy it and try it. I mean, that's all I care to say about that. Moving on, let's see what else I have here. I guess I'll just play this real quick while I talk about something else that I don't have footage for. There is a line of games. First, it started with Star Wars X-Wing, then there was Star Wars TIE Fighter. Then there was Star Wars X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and then there was Star Wars Alliance. These are flight simulator games that put you in the cockpit of a starfighter, and you go on a series of missions trying to just go from beginning to end. X-Wing, you play as the Rebels. You jump in X-Wings, Y-Wings, A-Wings. You're given a briefing in the beginning, and you're trying to beat all of the scenarios. TIE Fighter upped that big time, and you played as, like, this agent in the Empire. In between, you could actually talk to hooded figures, and the story was so much more grandiose than it was in X-Wing. And TIE Fighter was probably hailed as one of the best flight sims because it was so well done. But then we got X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, which is more of a sandbox. And I have memories of that playing on what was it's no longer now, but it was called the MSN Gaming Zone. The MSN Gaming Zone was a place where people can come together to play a bunch of games. And there was, like, like word games that you could play together and hook up with. But X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was on the MSN Gaming Zone, and we would hold tournaments. There were guilds, actual guilds. People would go into rooms and they would play together. And we would record our wins and losses, kills, and all of that on a separate, I think it was BattleNet or not BattleNet, but it was Battle something. And you would get ranked based on how well you did. And that took up a lot of my college days in the maybe 2000s, 2000, 2001, something like that. But obviously the MSN Gaming Zone is no longer around. And then X-Wing Alliance came out, which kind of one-upped X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Not only could you play all of that in a sandbox mode where, you could have 1v1, 2v2, but X-Wing Alliance actually had a story. It followed the Azamine family, who you start off as just general, like, neutral smugglers, and you get, like, the Han Solo ships, like the big carriers, cruisers, cargo ships. But then the Empire, like, does something to you, destroys your home, and you're wanted, and then you join the rebels as defectors. So, like, or just you as refugees, I should say. And there's a campaign regarding that. So, like, there's a whole line of these flight simulator games in the Star Wars universe, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and Alliance, that I've played a lot of, and I really enjoy them. My only beef with them is a controller is required. I remember coming home from, actually, X-Wing versus TIE Fighters when the controller was required. I remember buying X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, coming home, unboxing it, installing it, and getting ready to play it. And then it said, a joystick is required to play. So I had to ask my mom, pretty please, can we go back to the store and buy a joystick? Because I can't play this. So she drove me back to the store, and we got a joystick, and, so I was able to play it after that. But yeah, you haven't played any of those, I don't think.
No, not at all.
So it's more nostalgia for me than anything else. But they were pretty well done.
Well, it kept you busy.
It did keep me busy. Again, those were the games that taught me everything I know about, like, the Star Wars lore as far as space is concerned. X-Wings, TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptors, TIE Bombers, TIE Advanced, TIE Defenders, Y-Wings, A-Wings, B-Wings, V-Wings, like, ships that weren't in the original movies, like, stuff like that. The TIE Fighter game came with a book, I think The Adventures of Merrick Steele or something like that. And within that book were blueprints for some of the spacecraft. And I sat there studying them. I don't know why. I found them super interesting, and I learned a lot. Quiz, real quick. TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, TIE Bomber. What does TIE stand for?
Well, obviously Thai food. It's
TIE,
so good.
Yes.
Don't fail me again.
It stands for
Don't be Googling.
no, I'm thinking. It stands for Titanic, Indestructible.
Stay on target.
Ewoks.
No.
Darn.
Okay, so I would give you another.
No.
Yeah, and just I don't expect you to know this. That's a really tough one.
Something Imperial Empire.
Yes, something Imperial Empire. No, twin ion engine.
Ah, I was close.
Yes, you were totally close. You were totally close. Yes, very close. So yeah, just for fun, twin ion engine. Anyway, so yeah, just if you get a chance to play those games, you may still need a joystick for X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and Alliance. So just be warned of that. The original X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, you could use your mouse, but I don't know how well it holds up now. Again, these games I installed the original X-Wing and TIE Fighter games based on their 3.5 discs. Those little discs. TIE Fighter had like 8 of them, so you had to sit there and pump them in. Insert disc 1, insert disc 2, insert disc 3, insert disc 4. Oh, go back to disc 1 again. And it took 45 minutes to an hour to install these games. I'm just saying that kids don't know. They don't know. So anyway, we'll move on.
Sure.
Yes. So I think that does it for the video games that I had here. I know there's one that you want to talk about. because actually there's another one real quick that I just want to quickly mention. Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. For those of you that have ever played Age of Empires, Galactic Battlegrounds is a reskin of that, but Star Wars. So, like, take Age of Empires 2, which I don't have footage for, and then just paste Star Wars onto it, and that's that. All in all, like, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of hours in that. But I know there's one that you want to talk about, which I don't have footage for, but I don't play it. I'm sorry, I don't play it. It's called it's Sims 4, right? And it's Journey to Batu, I think it is.
Yeah, we touched up on this before in a previous podcast.
I'm sure we have. Now the Batu though, like, I don't recognize the name. I don't recognize the name in the Star Wars galaxy. I'm sure it's somewhere.
I think it's Simlish. I think it's
Jakku. Well, Jakku is where Rey is from. Jakku and like all, but
where's the cantina located? Is that
Tatooine? The iconic, the iconic cantina is Tatooine.
Okay,
where Luke met Han.
I think Batu is just Simlish for Tatooine or Baku.
I bet if I googled it, there is a space for it somewhere. I'm sure it's lore and canon. It's just I've never heard of it before that game.
Oh, okay.
But in that game, you can be a rebel, or you can be part of the resist, because it takes place in the Rey First Order Resistance universe, which you can be either Resistance like Rey, or you can be the First Order like, I guess, Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And you can build your own droids and stuff.
What's really funny though is that there's like a set of missions that you have to do to get a relationship. A faction relationship.
Wait, faction. Oh, faction. I thought you said
faction.
I thought you said fashion, and I'm like, walking down a runway. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, my speech is not very good.
I know you're sick. It's all good.
But what's cool is that once you get to like a max appeal, I guess, for one faction, you can switch anytime, really. So you can go from Imperial to Rebel, or from Rebel to Scum, and just keep increasing it that way and get your rewards or get the items.
When you say Scum, there's a third faction?
There's a Scum faction.
Okay, all right.
It's really cool. But all these missions are kind of fun too, because you have to go into their base and stealthily hack plans or do things like that. And it's really fun. I'm
trying to picture The Sims as a stealth game, and I just can't do it.
Have you ever played Sims 3 World Adventures?
No.
No, that was cool. That was like an Indiana Jones. You go into some sort of tomb or what do they call it? Catacombs.
Okay.
And you can actually dodge mummies, and you can do like all these Indiana Jones stuff, go through traps, and that was like the most fun thing ever in The Sims. I loved World Adventures. So when this whole mission thing for the Star Wars, for the Batu for Sims 4 came out, I was so excited because it kind of felt like that. It was more on a minute scale though, because the base is not as big, and it's fairly small and fairly easy to just go and hack plans or disable computers and things like that, and cameras and stuff like that. But if you get caught, you actually have to go into like this jail cell, which is really funny.
Okay, interesting.
It's cool, and you can use your droid. You can build a droid, and you can I think equip him with things, and you can set him as a distraction so that guards will like be like, oh, what's that? Oh, como schneller. Things like that.
Okay. I have a hard time justifying. First of all, The Sims 4 has a gazillion expansions, and I don't agree with their EA's business practices. And I want to play the Star Wars one, but at the same time, like, I'm so busy. There are other options. When I play The Sims because I want to play a business simulator. When it comes to The Sims, the only expansions I care about were the Back to Business one for The Sims 2. Like, that was fun. And then Pets, because I like animals. And The Seasons wasn't bad, because I got to grow crops. I enjoyed the farming aspect. But, like, I could care less about nightlife and vampires and whatever else.
And fairies.
Who gives? I don't. It's just, oh, you want this couch? Another $4, please. Like, they even have mini packs that are $4 or $5 for just a small set of items. It is disgusting. It is disgusting.
Their practices are really terrible.
Predatory.
But the Batu is one I highly recommend. You can build a lightsaber, which is really cool. They have tons of different colors that you actually have to find and farm for. And you can sell them. So you can sort of, like, do your own little business.
A black market Jedi lightsaber trader. Okay.
It's really cool. And then when you go down to the rebel base, like pretending to be, if you're a rebel spy, an Imperial spy, and you go down to the rebel base, you can like befriend some of the rebels and kind of like really mess up their own thing. It's cool. And then it doesn't show it. It's more like a space battle off screen, but you can go into a spaceship. It's either the Millennium Falcon or the TIE, or like this big old TIE fighter or something. And when you interact with that and you go into a spaceship, there's like these little prompts that give you choices on what to do. And those are like missions. And then based on RNG, luck and stuff, you can come back either hurt or injured or in jail or with really cool items. And sometimes you actually have to take items in the first place. Like if I go on a mission and I have a key card with me or a fake ID card, it'll ask me like, oh, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? And if you don't have the required items, sometimes you can't do one option or
that
the other.
Sounds like the job system in The Sims, where like if you get promoted, like if you're about to get promoted at work, sometimes the game will give you a scenario and you have to pick which one.
Yeah.
That sounds similar to that.
It is like that, except like sometimes you'll have to have items, required
with you,
which is really cool. And there's like a ton of items. There's all sorts of things.
Now, does your sim travel between Batu and the original neighborhoods? Like, can you intermix them, or is it its own separate entity?
It is its own separate entity, but you can actually it's considered a vacation world, but you can live on Batu. You can live in it. So
your character can wake up in your small efficiency apartment and then travel to Batu, do your thing there, and then at the end of the day go home back to your efficiency apartment and go to sleep. So it's like a Disney World vacation kind of thing. Like
kind of. But what's so funny is that you can actually live there. You can live off there because Batu has a whole hygiene system in there. It has its own bathroom. You can sleep there. It has its inn. The cantina, you can just eat there all the time. And for entertainment, you can play that I already forgot what the name of it is. There's like a card game that you can play.
That was going to be one of my quiz questions to you. There's a card. The first part of the question is, how did Han Solo? From who did Han Solo get the Millennium Falcon? Do you know who?
Lando.
Lando, and how?
He lost it in a gambling card game.
And what was the name of that card game?
Oh crud! Hold on. Did it begin with an S?
Yes, it does. It does.
Are
you reading it?
No, I swear I'm not.
Sat, yes.
Satek, no.
Close.
Oh my god. I'm actually forgetting this. Sabak.
Yes. Hold on. You deserve...
I was like, I swear, listen, hold on. How do I share my screen? How do I share my desktop? I swear I don't have anything.
I can't show it right now because my OBS is set up. So anyway,
I'll record it. I'll record my screen right now.
Oh wow. Okay. So good job though. I'm very impressed. The fact that before you met me, I can guarantee you wouldn't know what the hell Sabak was.
Oh my gosh, I would have no idea.
Yeah.
This whole Star Wars and Star Trek thing, the 8 years that I've been with you, I didn't know
The worst
anything.
of your life, I know. Keep going.
No. No. I meant, like, I had no idea about I saw Star Wars with my dad. It was good. I knew the whole Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, story, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. But man, the little details when I got together with you, I know all these planet names, I know all these ship names, and I'm like, oh my god, what have I become?
Do you?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly.
No, it's great. I love it. It's educational.
Well, in that case,
I have you now.
all right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well,
I remember because there is a sabacc tournament in the game. So if you play enough, it's kind of like the chess tournament or the esports tournaments in the Sims 2 or in the Sims 4 expansion packs and stuff like that.
Like in The Witcher 3, where it has its own card game called Gwent, sabacc is in the Star Wars universe is playable in a game called KOTOR. Knights of the Republic, where you can actually buy cards off of vendors. It's its own mini card game in this, you can find cards as quest rewards. You can buy them from vendors, but you can actually play people in cantinas and try and win money. Mm-hmm. So sabacc is an actual game that you can play like Gwent in The Witcher. That's
actually really cool.
Yeah, it's really... I like that. I like it when developers bother to create mini games inside actual games. Sometimes those mini games are actually more fun than the actual game.
Yeah, like the arm wrestling and the Outlast trials.
Yes.
No. But what's funny too is that you can actually cheat in sabacc in The Sims 4. So, but there are repercussions, of course.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, of course. And you get to actually meet Kylo Ren and Rey, and the actual voice actors, they do the Simlish, and it's pretty cool. Even though I don't really care for them, but I think it's still really cool that they did that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, moving on. Unless you want to say anything else about Sims 4.
No, I think I've said all I said, and the dog is really.
I can hear him tapping on your thing from here.
Can you? Oh no,
it's fine. And we're back. So yes, she took the dog out, and I think we're okay now. Yeah, our little Wookiee on occasion has to use the potty. There's nothing else we can really say about that. Well, that's actually good timing because I think we're done talking about the video game part of this. I do have some honorable mentions I want to quickly touch on later. But for right now, I want to jump into the board game parts of this. One of my favorite games, the video games that we already talked about, was Star Wars Rebellion. Well, there's actually a tabletop version of Rebellion. And this is an older video because Vinny is very tiny here. He's 22 or 23 now at this point. But in the board game, very much like the video game, one player is the Rebels, one player is the Empire. The Rebels have a hidden base somewhere. The Empire's trying to find it. And there's a production queue on the right side of the screen there. And as you're developing ships and the like, you're trying to complete your own goals. The Empire's trying to find the base, but the Rebels are trying to complete a series of objectives that push a separate marker and counter up another track. And they're trying to complete that before, they're trying to basically make the clock run out. But the Empire's up against the clock to find the base. And it's fun because, you can assign people to different planets to do different missions. And there's a bit of, RNG and your dice rolls, the different cards you can play. The units in this game have different stats, and there are a lot of dice battling in this. The expansion solves some of that, but I haven't played it yet. So I'm really curious to try that out. But I remember you playing this. We played it once or twice. It's a very long game. That's the only downside to this. It's a very long game. Do you prefer the video game over this because of the logistics? Or
I don't remember the video game for this one.
Well, remember, we just talked about it, the video game. the Star Wars Rebellion that we covered earlier, literally 40 minutes ago.
The board game, I remember. The video game. Duh, the really, really old one.
Yes,
the janky
yes.
one, right. I'm getting confused with Outer Rim. That's
yeah,
why.
okay, yes. So this is Rebellion. The Star Wars Rebellion video game that we covered was the older one that we played together, and I taught you all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a board game of the same name, Rebellion.
I see.
And it plays very similar. It's just it does some things that are different.
I don't like the board game at all.
Fair enough. I know it's an acquired taste.
I like the video game because it's AI, and if I lose, it's fine because it's AI.
I see. What if I took it easy and didn't like try and destroy you?
No.
I see. Okay.
I still prefer the video game.
All right. Fair enough. But I liked Rebellion, the board game. Out of all the Star Wars games that I have, like this one, board game wise, like this is like, I feel like this is the most true to like what Star Wars is supposed to be. Because there are other games that I have, like we tried the Star Wars VCR one. Do you remember that one?
I think I do. No, not really.
Okay, so we went around, we played it on the table behind me, and it was a VCR. I pulled it up on my phone because we don't have a VCR anymore, obviously. But we would go around the Death Star, trying to like land on certain spots and disable the Death Star, but then Darth Vader would pop up on the screen on a regular basis and go, the one moving now.
I remember that one.
If the letters in the name if you have any of the letters in your name that are in the word dark side, gain 2 dark side points or whatever it was.
Oh, that was awful.
Yes. So like if you compare a game like that to this game, Rebellion is like, I feel like this is like one of the go-to ones. Aside from Outer Rim, which we'll get to in a minute, this one is like, I feel this is the spirit of Star Wars, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So even if it's a little complicated and you don't like it, all in all, like it's one of the better ones out there.
Yeah.
So I'll move away from this one and jump into the one that you're more familiar with, which is Star Wars Outer Rim. And rather than there be a Rebels versus Imperial thing going on, you take on the role of a smuggler or a bounty hunter. And you're trying to manage your reputation across 4 factions. There's the Rebels, Imperials, the Scum, and the Hutts, I think it is, or the Pirates. It was the Pirates and the Hutts. And you're trying to get so many victory points by you get fame. And you have to, like, complete jobs. You can complete bounties by hunting people down around the galaxy. You can deliver cargo, and that gets you fame and victory points. So, like, there are multiple ways to do it. Each character, like, you assume the role of one character. Han Solo, Boba Fett, Dr. Aphra, other ones that are from, like, comic books or whatever, Bosk. But, like, each character has different abilities, and you can even, like, flip them over to their better side if you complete their achievement. Same with ships. Like, you can buy different ships from the universe. Boba Fett can fly the Millennium Falcon if you buy it. That kind of thing. So, and you can even equip your character with guns and mods and gear, different things like that. We played this a lot. Our friend Nick was on a kick for a while. We played like 2 or 3 games with him. Vinny and I played in this video, and then we played, I think, 2 or 3 times together. What drives you to this one?
I really like this one just because the focus on one character and trying to really level him up or progress him or whatever it is, like equip him, and going around the galaxy, like planet to planet. But man, I feel like there's a runaway lead with this one sometimes.
It is, yeah. This is part engine builder because you're building it's like an RPG, like a light RPG for your character, because you're getting him better. But at the same time, there's also a story element to this where like RNG just sometimes it can go your way or not. I attempted one job 3 or 4 times, and I failed every single time because dice were not nice to me. Even though I had advantages in the roll, I still rolled blanks all the time or whatever it was. So, like, I couldn't complete the stupid job, and I lost 4 turns out of it. And that's annoying. But if you have to look at it, this is in my review of it, you have to treat this game as a story. Like, crap is going to go wrong, and you just have to accept it. Just don't play this to be efficient. Play this to have fun and see where it takes you. That if you play it that way, the game is so much more fun.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was Star Wars, and that's fun. Star Wars Outer Rim, and the expansion I think is worth it because it adds more characters and other mechanics. So definitely play that one. Anything else to say about this before we move on?
No, I think I definitely had my fill with this one. And excuse me if I seem distracted. The dog's on my lap. So
I see. Well, I'll give you.
Ooh, okay. Perfect. That's actually quite fitting.
He literally is. He actually. I don't have the sound clip, but he sounds like a tauntaun when he's playing.
Yeah.
He sounds like a tauntaun. If you don't know what that is, it's the snow creature from Hoth. Han Solo cut the tauntaun open with the lightsaber to put Luke in there to warm him back up. That's the tauntaun. Anyway. So, moving on.
Yes.
Moving on. What's next here? Okay, so I have a couple of different things to talk about here, and your microphone's going nuts. But
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. I keep hearing thump 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 thump. Yes.
All right.
That is the tribble right there. So, Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game is a game that I played a lot of. I have a lot of miniatures in a container behind me on the shelf. There's even a mod on Tabletop Simulator, which is what you're seeing now. You pick a squad. Like, you first pick your faction. At first, there was Rebels, Imperials, and then there was, like, Scum and Villain. And then there's, like, then First Order and Resistance got introduced. There was just... And then the other factions just kept coming. So, the clones and the... the clones and the... what are the droids called? The Separatists.
Separatists?
Yes. Yeah. So, you picked one of those factions, and then you picked ships from those factions. If you pick an X-Wing, there were like 8 different pilots that you can pick between. Each one had different abilities. There were some no-named red shirt ones that didn't do anything but were cheap. They had different pilot skills, different attack strengths, weaknesses. I loved all that stuff. It was so much fun. It still is, but Fantasy Flight, I think, got too greedy. They released a 2.0 version, made everyone buy everything all over again because, like, the new version fixes problems with the old one. Because there were some combos that were broken. There was a character in the original X-Wing. There was a TIE Phantom, which has cloaking capability. And I think his name was Whisper. But it was like you could turn him into like a 40-some, 50-some point ship. It could dodge. It could go all over the place. No one could hit the stupid thing. A TIE Interceptor, same thing. There was a TIE Interceptor which rolls 3 defense dice, evasion dice by default. But because of the upgrades you could put on it, you can allow it to roll 6 dice. No one could hit the stupid thing. So, like, I guess Fantasy Flight had to, like, rebalance stuff for this 2.0 X-Wing version. There's also Armada, which instead of flying X-Wings and Y-Wings and A-Wings and TIE Fighters and TIE Interceptors, Armada is a grander scale miniatures game by Fantasy Flight as well, where you get into the Calamari Cruiser, Star Destroyers, the Nebulon B frigates, like the bigger ships. And then you treat them more as battleships, where, you know, there's broadsides, like some ships are great at attacking from the front, some are great at attacking from the side, and you're trying to knock out the enemy capital ships. And that's a lot more fun. You can even have squadrons rather than individual X-Wings. You have a group of X-Wings in a little squadron thing that you move around, and it's more freeform. I really enjoy those games because the customization, the fleet building, the ship building, that is so much fun to me. trying to figure out what combos are great and work well together, which ones are just fun to fly. That is what I would sit for hours just like brainstorming different builds to put together. We played this on Tabletop Sim with friends. We played this on the table, the physical table. I know you didn't care for it. We even attended a tournament. We went to a tournament. It was like an hour away or whatever. And I know you don't care for it as much because you're not into the tactical side of it. But in theory, I thought you had a little bit of fun with this at least.
I do have fun with it. When I play it, I just play it knowing that I'm gonna probably crash off the board. I don't measure very well, like visually, and even with rulers, like I'm just terrible with measurements. So this game is definitely not for me. But I love, I do love the building of it, like building the deck and equipping things and just getting as much gear as I can to chain off of something else if I manage to make a hit. So that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, I try to play this, you know, to your appeasement because I know it's something that you enjoy.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
You know, so I sacrifice my enjoyment for you.
Oh man.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay. Dang. Thank you so much for that.
I'm kidding.
Well, that was...
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Yes.
Who's scruffy looking?
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Nerf
Can't believe
herder?
you... Yes. A nerf is a animal.
Oh, is it? Okay.
A nerf herder is like a... Think of it like a sheep herder or... Anyway.
I'm
Look it up.
I'm thinking of the Nerf balls.
Yeah, no, they're not Nerf darts or anything like that.
Yeah.
That you shoot from a gun.
I see.
Anyway, so that was X-Wing miniatures game and Armada. Both are excellent, but be warned, minis, if you get physically, very expensive because you buy them separately and buy multiple. If you want to fly 3 X-Wings, you gotta buy 3 X-Wing minis. Just do yourself a favor. Learn the Tabletop Simulator version. You can put any ship you want on there. You can build lists and import them via code into Tabletop Simulator. I will teach you how to do it. It's fun. I think I have a couple of videos out there.
My heart breaks too because you have so many minis, and like you just have this huge collection, and you rarely get to play it. So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe one day we'll just like frame it and put it on the walls, like decorations.
Or I'll sell it just to make room. I mean,
that's true.
I have to cut the cord at some point, you know, as an adult, you know. But I bought them mainly for me and Vinny, but now that Vinny's 23 and moved out, like,
yeah,
you know.
Aww.
Anyway, I don't go to tournaments. I'm not very social. I'm just not that kind of person. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it goes. Moving on to another board game that we played. Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's a play off of Pandemic, the board game. It's based off of the Pandemic system. World of Warcraft is another such example, where it's Pandemic, but it's a particular theme. In this game, it's Star Wars Pandemic, pretty much, where you take on the role of the clones. Like, you've got Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then you get helpers like Rex and the other clones that are... Before Order 66 happened, you know, you were fighting against the Separatists. And rather than viruses going around the board and consuming things, rather you've got battle droids and enemies doing that. And you're trying to take them out and complete objectives at the same time. And I think you had a pretty good time with this one, if I remember right.
I loved this one. This is like one of my favorites. Excuse me. What's really awesome about the Pandemic thematic board games, like with the World of Warcraft one, with the dice one, they each, all of their core mechanics are exactly the same, but each of them have some sort of different mechanic that makes them all different and unique, and I love that. And this one, the Clone Wars, was one of my favorites. So I would play this over and over again. This was a great one.
I liked the Warcraft one because, like, when you got to a location, there was a quest that you had to go on by spending symbols or whatever. This one didn't have that so much as like there were just objectives off to the side. You got to the right planet, you did the objective by spending cards or whatever. But like the quests in World of Warcraft were longer. Like you had to spend several turns moving something up a track, and you had people helping you on top of it. But I liked this one because in this game you could choose your villain, whereas in the Warcraft one it was just Arthas. You were up against the Lich King. Whereas in this one, it's like you could Dooku, Darth Maul, Grievous, Asajj Ventress. You could pick one of those villains and then play against them. And each one did something different. They had their own deck as well. So like they each had an effect on the players in some way, in their own way. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But yeah, there's not much else to say about it other than it's Pandemic with Star Wars. You're still trying to cooperatively beat the game, but it's a lot of fun. So if you're looking for an alternative to Pandemic and want something Star Wars themed, take a look at this one. And again, the Warcraft one isn't bad either, if you can find that one. So moving on to another one that I really liked, Star Wars, the deck building game. This one, think like Dominion and other deck builders, but this is different in the sense that there's a force tracker. So as the force is with the one player, the other player, certain cards activate more than they normally would. Like this card does more when the force is on your side, that kind of thing. There's also a central pool of cards you can buy from, and if you actually, rather than attacking your opponent, you can attack the cards in the middle, and you get a reward for taking them off the board. So like there's a risk. Do I spend my attack on the enemy and whittle down his health, or do I attack the middle and get this immediate reward, which might benefit me later, kind of thing? You know what I mean? But I liked this because this was again original trilogy crap. There was no Rey or Kylo Ren, or there was none of that in here. This was all original trilogy stuff. But there was Rogue One in here. I remember there being, I do remember seeing like, Donnie, what was his name?
I don't remember any of the names.
The Rogue One characters. Oh my God.
Enzio, whatever.
Not Enzo. Oh my God. Jyn Erso. There was Cassian. There's K2SO. There's was Jeffrey Whitaker in there? I don't remember. Google it. Saw Gerrera. I don't remember if he was in there. But yeah, anyway, all of even Rogue One was in there. But Jar Jar Binks I don't remember seeing. No. But anyway, it was just a lot of fun. Capital ships. It played like a deck builder, but at the same time, I don't know. It hits all the right. It's quick and easy to play. I developed a solo mode for it, and that was a lot of fun.
Is this the one where you get additional powers or attributes or something if you were on the light side?
That's the living card game.
Oh, okay.
But in this one, you have a starter planet. When that blows up, you get to pick a different planet.
I see.
And that planet, based on what you pick, has an ability. You could pick Kashyyyk, for example. Pop quiz. How many Ys are in Kashyyyk?
2.
No.
3.
All right. I'm going to give you a... Hold on.
I know there's a lot of them.
That is... Well...
No.
No, I thought it was 3 or 2.
It is 3. Well, you first said 2, and then you said 3, so I had to give you a no and a yes at the same time. Okay. So yes, and who was the homeworld of Kashyyyk? What was the race that what's their homeworld like? What are they called?
The Kashyykians.
who lived there on Kashyyyk?
Oh, which character?
Yeah, which race?
Which race?
Which Star Wars race lived on Kashyyyk?
Oh, jeez.
Do you want a hint?
Yeah, sure. Oh, really?
The Wookiees.
The Chewbaccians?
Yes, the Wookiees. The Chewbaccians.
Whoops.
All I have to give you a for that one. Yeah.
I'm sorry, they're all Chewbacca. Like, Chewbacca's not a name; it's a race.
Chewbacca has a family. Thank you very much.
I see.
And you can find them on the Star Wars special, which I will hope to never watch ever again. The Christmas special.
Aw.
It was awful. Go watch it if you want to watch B. Arthur sing. Go watch it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, I'll watch it.
Yes. So, Star Wars, the deck building game. It's fun. It's quick. It's Star Wars themed, and there's none of that new Star Wars crap in it. If you like deck builders, this is an easy one. The other one that you were kind of talking about, Star Wars: The Living card game. This is not a collectible card game where you have to keep buying packs. And then it's random what you get. This is a living card game where if you buy this pack, then you always get these cards. So there's still a lot of them to buy, but at least you know what you're going to get with each pack that you buy, if that makes any sense. So the living card game is one player's the Rebels, one player's the Imperials, and the Rebels are trying to destroy 3 objectives before the Empire can run out the clock on their Death Star dial. And the Rebels, like in Magic the Gathering, you have to not tap, but exhaust cards by spending your resources to put cards out. And then your cards, when they're out, can attack objectives on the other side. There's 3 objectives per side, and the Rebels have to destroy 3 of them in order to win. The Empire needs just to get their Death Star dial up to like 12 or something like that. I can't remember the number, but it's fun because there's 3 sub-factions per side. So as the Rebels, you can be like the Jedi is one sub-faction. You can be like the actual Rebel Alliance as the other, like the troops. I can't remember what the other one is. But then I forgot, there's another faction. You can be Scum and Villainy as well.
Oh, okay.
And they play as their own sneaky stuff. The cards are usually like, the Rebels are like red and the Empire's like dark and the Scum and Villainy's yellow, something like that. It's a fun game. I know you don't like it as much because you don't like the tactical, like playing cards to a table and then figuring out how to get them, like which one to play first, and like compared to the deck building game, this one's way more involved.
Yeah, this feels like chess.
A little bit. Now, not pictured here is a card game that was released recently by Fantasy Flight called Star Wars Unlimited. Star Wars Unlimited is a lighter version. You've had a chance to play that online. There's a free game that you can play online. It plays faster than this, and it's much easier. Would you rather play that than this? Or
most likely. Just because it kind of reminded me of Dominion a little bit.
Yeah, this game has edge battles, so when you're fighting against your opponent, you have to put cards face down into an edge battle, and whoever has more force icons, like you're bluffing to see who can put more down or make your enemy waste cards. Then you can assign units to the force, and the good side is that, like, well, the more force you have, you get the force on your side, you can do this extra thing, but every time you activate this unit now, it costs 2 exhaustion tokens rather than 1. So, like, there's some strategy in which ones you assign to the force and which ones you don't.
I liked the edge battles, like, a lot. I think that was probably one of my favorite things about this game. Which is kind of weird because I normally don't like
It's bluffing, though.
Bluffing.
It's like, you put a card face down. Do I have 1 force icon on that or 3? I don't know.
Yeah. I think I liked the cards themselves, maybe.
The cards themselves were very well done. Star Wars Unlimited has a very anime art style, whereas this one is more like realistic. You know, like more, I don't know, more natural, I guess. Whatever the art style is called. But anyway, that was Star Wars The Living card game. It's a lot of fun. It's not in I don't know if it's in print anymore. I can't imagine. No new expansions are out for it. This is an older game, but if you can find like a starter set, it's a lot of fun. It's also on Tabletop Sim. Moving on. Okay, so actually, I think is that the end of the board game stuff that I want to talk about. It is. Some of my I'll just play this because it's 17 minutes long. I have some like honorable mentions. For the first of which is Star Wars Squadrons. This is what you're seeing now. This is like I was mentioning earlier that I was a big fan of X-Wing TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and X-Wing Alliance. This is the first game that's come out since then that has any similarity. It's a space simulator. You get to fly. You pick your ship, you fly in a cockpit, and you go. What sucks about this game, are the controls. They're very floaty, to me anyway. I use a mouse and keyboard, and I'm told that that's the worst thing you can possibly use. They say the controller is much better. But
it really is.
I have I don't know what it is. I cannot use the control. I get so frustrated using it. But the problem is there's a campaign, which is not as good as Battlefront 2, weirdly enough. And on top of that, like, there's AI versus fleet battles in this and dogfights and stuff, but the fleet battles, there's an easy and hard difficulty setting. Easy is still very difficult. Like, it's like the AI has this, they all have the Force and they're using it all on you. It's very frustrating to play sometimes, unless you're really good. But like, it's also very grindy. It takes a while to level up your profile and unlock the credits that you need to buy more skins and that for your ships. I like playing this game on occasion. And also, when you play solo versus AI, you get 4 bots on your side to help you in the fleet battles. But if you play co-op versus AI, if it's 2 players, like if you and I were to play that, 3 more bots do not spawn on your side. So it's just the 2 of you versus 5 enemy ships.
Yeah.
Like, AI bots do not autofill in co-op versus AI, but they do autofill in solo versus AI. It doesn't make any freaking sense to me. Why would you not autofill? Like, I would play this game a whole lot more with you if you would allow me to. If there were bots that would autofill.
Yeah.
On the co-op.
Like, that's why we play it separately, because it makes no sense to just kind of start with a disadvantage.
Right. Now, you can play custom mode, but and custom mode you can actually like increase your whole strength for a faction. So I can balance it. Downside to custom mode is you don't earn progression. So like the profile leveling up, no. Earning credits towards skins, no. You don't get any of that. So I would do that with you if we were done leveling our profile. If we had everything that we wanted. But it's a shame.
Have you played the campaign for this one?
Years ago when it first came out, and I got to the last level and I didn't beat it. It's like one of those. It's like the same with StarCraft 2. Like, I got to, like, the last level of the Zerg campaign, but didn't bother finishing it because I just didn't care anymore. Like, that kind of thing. But, like, graphically and musically, like, the graphics are pretty fun. Like, being in a cockpit and, shooting the lasers and stuff, you can't, like, link your cannons, which is stupid. Like, in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, the X-Wing has 3 fire modes. You could fire single, bzz, 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 like in the 4 corners, just one after the other. You can dual link them, so it's like these 2 shoot, then these 2 shoot, then these 2 shoot, and these 2 shoot. Or you can quad shoot, which is all 4 shoot at the same time. You can't do that in Squadrons. You cannot, during battle, switch your fire mode, which is stupid. You can customize your weapons beforehand to like do special things, and sometimes that might lead to a quad shot, but like you can't freely switch between them during the battle. So this is another example of like where the older games do more than the newer games. And it bothers me that the developers don't look back at these older games. Okay, did we include everything that this other game had because like it just makes sense to have them in there? Like, what were they thinking? So, but I mean, like, it's still fun to play on occasion when I just need to shoot something, even though the controls I have a hard time with. Because it's really all I have. If I going back to X-Wing Alliance, which was, again, back in the, 90s, 2000s, whatever, no, 2000s, whatever it was. Like, this is the only this is the only game I have that's somewhat modern. So, it just,
I I wish this game had a reorient button, just one reorient button that makes you go into the default position. Because sometimes it is so disorienting when you're rotating all around and you're flying all around and you're just doing all the sorts of moves trying to like dodge missiles that you don't know which way is up and which way is down. So if I could just like level myself after like a little bit of a hiatus, it would be really nice. Otherwise, I actually fell so low into the clouds because I thought it was up, and I killed myself because I was so low. So
were you Han?
What do you mean? Oh my god!
Because you were so low.
I wish I had the soundboard so I can play now. No.
No, Carl, no.
Oh, yeah, that's
No. Well, as he said.
But.
Yes.
Oh. So, with this game, though, I actually don't have a lot of negative to say about this game. Except the one or two negatives maybe three negatives that I have about this game outweigh the massive positives that I do have about this game. And I love the story, and I love the graphics, I love the cutscenes, and I mean the story's fantastic, but the characters are unbearable, just unbearable. I have never met more unlikable characters. And probably even Saints Row characters, and those are just as bad. But these characters in Star Wars, like, what were they smoking?
Yeah, Iden Versio was much more likable character than...
Yes! It is unbelievable. I won't even say, like, I won't even get into it, but let's just say that it was very modern characters.
They weren't sleepy, is what you're saying.
Man, they were terrible. They were just like over the top.
Yeah.
I hated it. But the game itself is really great, and it's just so unfortunate that they had to just take a turd on it, you know?
Yeah.
With the character development.
Again, this is an honorable mentions area for me, like just because I'll play this when I'm in the mood. But like they could have done more with it. There's no button to actually remove the cockpit. And some of the ships, like, the cockpit takes up your entire screen. There's only, like, I feel like I'm playing on a little TV. Like, I can't, like, look at the TIE Fighter right here. Like, that...
Yeah.
30% of the screen, I can't see anything. Like,
I could have sworn that they had a button for a different camera view mode.
Is there? If there is, I'm going to have to look again, because I couldn't find it. You can in the original games, like, from way back when... You could.
I could have sworn they did. Maybe I'll have to recheck, but if they don't,
please let me know. It's annoying. It's so annoying. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on an honorable mention, but like they could have done more with this. And there's just some pet peeves. But I find the game on Steam and for like $3 when it's on sale. Just grab it for $3 and then play it and see if you like it. It's worth $3. It really is, but it may irk you in some places. But anyway, other honorable mentions I just wanted to quickly touch on real quick. The Star Wars Trilogy Arcade was a game that every time there's a convention, I hope that I see this arcade machine. It's just one of those, you've got a joystick and you're aiming and like it's Rebel Assault, but it's in the arcade pretty much. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. Another game that I really enjoyed, this is my review of it, what you're watching, but it's like, it's not out yet because I'm still like trying to time it with other videos that I'm doing, but, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's the sequel to The Fallen Order. And like, the reason it's on my honorable mentions list is because it's too platformy for me. Like, it's just like the original game. It's just so much platforming involved. And I liked the story, except for the ending, because I felt like I was like, that's it. I was expecting more closure. It's like getting out of a really bad relationship. You know, like I wanted, closure. I feel like I didn't get that with this game. You know what I mean?
Maybe there's a third one coming out.
All right, maybe they'll pick up where that left off. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, I liked it. I like this. I like the battling. I like the combat. But like some parts of it let me down. But it is a superior game compared to the first one. It does more. I love the customization of the lightsabers, the different battle stances, and the like. But it's an honorable mention for me because platforming is not my main preferred genre. If that makes any sense. You watched me play this.
I did.
You enjoyed it? Like
I did. I really liked the story a lot. But you're right. It was primarily platforming more than actual fighting, and I would get way too frustrated. This is the type of game that I would rather watch someone play than play it myself.
No, fair enough. Other ones, I already mentioned KOTOR 1 and 2. They're just RPGs. I don't have any footage for them. Just look up KOTOR 1 and 2. They're very heavy RPGs. They kind of defined Star Wars. Obsidian, I said Obsidian that did that, I think. Whoever did them did excellent jobs. So look up KOTOR 1 and 2. The Star Wars Lego series, I don't really play Lego games, the video games, but like it's fun collecting stuff. I used to have a Star Wars Lego game on like the PlayStation 2 or something. I played it with Vinny and when he was a kid, and that was fun. It was just super casual, light fun. But there was a lot of collectibles in that you could find, and but it's not like a game I would rush to play anytime soon. But there's a ton of those, so you may want to look into those. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. There's some other ones that more nostalgia than games I'd liked. Star Wars Galaxies was an MMO that shut down a long time ago. I owned my own business in that game and mined out resources, and I became a Jedi and all that stuff. Rogue Squadrons 1 through 3 were decent, although looking back, I didn't, they just don't hold up very well. Dark Forces is like Duke Nukem, but Star Wars, like Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, so, I mean, what about you? Is there any other games that you wanted to mention that we hadn't touched on?
Isn't there Star Wars Flux?
Flux. There's a Star Trek Flux. I don't know about a Star Wars Flux.
Maybe I'm getting them confused then. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't know if that company owns the rights to Star Wars. I don't know if they have the license for that. I know they've got the license to do the Star Trek Flux. They do a lot of the sci-fi stuff, but I don't know about Star Wars.
Okay.
So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I know this video's been on pretty long. I guess what we'll do is quickly go into my Patreon thank yous and stuff, just because it's been a while since I've done that. I don't do Twitch much anymore, so I still want to thank my Twitch subscribers anyway. I have none right now, but I do want to thank my brother David, Lily, and Bessa, because they supported me for 2-3 years, I think it was, like straight on Twitch. But due to medical reasons, I don't do a whole lot of streaming anymore. But Patreon people, real quick, Ratsy's pledged another $150 this month for a lifetime of $8,780, which is fantastic. Brian, $50 for a lifetime of $2,400. Rob Milanovich, which is a new supporter, $15 for a lifetime of $15. So thank you. I sent you 3 keys, so check your email. I've been busy, but I did this morning, so check your emails. Greg Howe pledged $10 for a lifetime of $822. Aaron Jones pledged $1 for $18, and Alyssa Barrett $1 for a lifetime of $44. So thank you everyone for your continued support. And like I said, any little bit helps right now while we're waiting for Social Security to hopefully approve my case. So yeah, I think that's it. Mm-hmm.
And the quiz. We got to do the quiz.
Oh, that's right. The quiz. Okay, well, please. So you made a quiz for me.
I sure did.
Great. Now,
are
these
true
hard
Star Wars fans.
Oh, come on. All right.
Oh, yeah. These
Lovely.
are hard.
Oh, great. I love it. All right. Well, let me get the soundboard ready because yeah, okay. Go ahead.
All right. First question. Which of these battles happened first?
Hold on.
Okay.
The very first battle was chronologically?
Yeah.
Battle of Naboo happened first.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, what are the choices?
Okay. Occupation of Bespin, Battle of Endor, Sith Civil War, and Subjugation of Geonosis.
Holy stuff! All right, hold on.
Oh, wait, put your weapon. I mean you no harm.
All right. First of all, Endor was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
So that was like the later one.
Okay.
Then you said Bespin, Occupation of Bespin. That was Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Then you said Geonosis. Geonosis was Attack of the Clones, which was episode 2. And the Sith Silver War, however, I'm guessing that took place after Attack of the Clones. I didn't watch the Clone War cartoon. I don't know if it was listed in there. My best guess... Now, you said Geonosis... What the Battle of Geonosis?
Subjugation of Geonosis.
Subjugation. Well, I know the battle... I mean, there was a Battle of Geonosis. I would say that one would be the earliest.
That one? Okay.
I could be wrong. It might be the Sith... It's either that or the Sith Silver War, but the other two are like original trilogy.
This is an interactive quiz, so I'm going to take a guess too, because I don't know the answer.
Interesting. Okay. Does it give you the answers at the end?
It gives me the answer as soon as I click on it, so we'll know as soon as I click on it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to say, you said Subjugation of Geonosis?
Yeah.
All right, I'll say it too.
Well, and you should pick first in that case.
Oh, well, all right, Civil War. Sith Civil
whatever.
War.
All right, go ahead.
All right, ready? It was the Sith Civil War.
It was. Okay, interesting. So,
Okay.
does it say when it happened?
No.
Okay. Because, like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the Clone Wars I don't know when this took... that was not in any of the movies. I mean, I didn't follow the books but yeah, all right, interesting. It was going to be one of those two.
I see. All right. Which of these Jedi had their name misspelled in the script? Gretz Droom, Sifo Dyas, Aleko Stusia, or Sabla Mandibu?
What the fudge are you talking about? In the script? Does it look like I am not in George Lucas's pocket. I don't have his script laying around the house.
You're not a true Star Wars fan.
I am just going to cancel your subscription there. And yeah, all right, so there you go, folks. It's been a lovely podcast. No, I'm kidding. You disappeared.
I would say, I have no clue. I'm just going to say Sifo Dyas.
Sifo Dyas, okay. Well, I recognize that name, but what were the other ones?
Gretz Droom, Sifo Dyas, Aleko Stusia, or Sabla Mandibu.
I've never heard of any other than... I guess we'll do the Sifo Dyas. That's the only name I recognize. I don't know where these other ones are coming from.
I don't know either. It was
okay.
Sifo Dyas.
I've never heard of these other three names. I don't, unless they're gobbledygook.
Maybe. All right. Which of these Star Wars creatures reproduces by spores? Sarlacc, Blixus, Flugrians, or Blurgs?
What? Well, it's not a Sarlacc because that's the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi. But these other ones I've never heard of. Okay.
So maybe it is the Sarlacc.
It's not the Sarlacc.
You don't know how they reproduce. Do you know how they reproduce?
They live for millions of years, well, thousands of years. I can't imagine. Anyway, what were the other three?
Blixus, Flugrians, or Blurgs.
Now you're just talking Simlish.
That's what I said.
Now you're just talking Simlish.
I'm just gonna say, me personally, I'm gonna say Blixus.
All right, click it. I give up. I am not a true Star Wars fan.
Oh man, you sure you don't want to take a guess? Blurg, Flugrian, Blixus?
Flugrian. It's a stupid name. Go ahead, Flugrian.
Flugrian. All right, it was a Sarlacc. It's a Sarlacc.
Sarlaccs? Spores?
They reproduce by spores.
The Sarlacc? Really?
Yeah.
How? All right. That is not something they covered in Return of the Jedi, but okay. All right.
What is Han Solo's home planet? I know this one.
Oh, Corellia.
Yeah. You didn't even need the multiple choice.
No, yeah, it's Corellia.
Yeah, Corellia. Nice. How many languages, forms of communication does C-3PO know?
1 million forms of communications. Or it's 1 billion or 1 million. I think it's 1...
It says, I'll give you the multiple choice.
All right, go ahead.
30,000, 100,000, over a million, or over 7 million?
I am C-3PO. I no 7 million forms of. I think it's 7 million. It's a weird number. It's 7. Yeah, it's something 7 million.
So over 7 million?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Nice. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, you'll know this one. Who designed the Death Star?
Grand Moff Tarkin.
It's not on here.
All right, Grand Moff Tarkin. He took it over from. Okay. So, from Rogue One, Jyn Erso's dad.
Okay.
All right. What are the choices?
Garanite, Iridonian, Geonosians, or Gendai?
Oh, you mean the race?
I don't know. It just says who designed the Death Star. Garanite, Iridonian, Gendai or Gendai, or Geonosians.
I've never heard Geonosians. Definitely not. But the other ones, I have no knowledge. I mean, Grand Moff Tarkin was he's the old guy. You may fire, I wouldn't bet it. You know, like yeah. he was the one.
Was he a Geonosian?
No, he was human. Well, whatever passes for human in the Star Wars.
Rogue One's that woman's father, Jyn Erso's father.
They're also I don't know what race they were. I just figured they were all human. I don't know what race I don't know what they're called. I mean, I know the people. I just don't know what race that is. Like Grand Moff Tarkin took over. Like he was the grand poobah of the Death Star. Like if I had to say anything, it'd be him. But Jyn Erso's father helped develop the Death Star. You know.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's the answer? I'm curious.
I'm gonna take a guess. I'm just gonna say this one with the apostrophe. Yeah, Geonosians.
Geonosians developed the Death Star?
Designed the Death Star.
That's weird because the Geonosians were bugs and they were part... Oh, I don't know. Okay,
we're gonna have to Google this.
Yeah, alright, interesting. That's so... Alright, yeah.
Hello there.
Keep going.
Who kissed Leia first? Oh, come on, Han or Luke?
Well, Luke did.
Luke kissed Leia first?
Empire Strikes Back. Well, hold on. Yes, Leia kissed Luke right before they jumped across the chasm. Luke had the rope, and he swung across it was in a Death Star. And she said, "For luck," and she kissed him on the lips or cheek or whatever it was, and they swung across the chasm. But I'm pretty sure that was the first actual kiss.
Okay, so Luke?
Yeah, Luke.
Okay. Yep, Luke. The brother.
The brother.
All right. How many Jedi Temple Guards survived the Great Jedi Purge and joined the Inquisitorius?
What? Where are you getting this quiz from?
A Star Wars quiz for true fans.
Wow. Some guy in his basement is really digging.
Yeah.
Mom, more Hot Pockets!
Yeah, but you too, you know?
Well, yeah. Who was the nerd that looked at the blueprints in the Merrick Steele Chronicles? I can poke fun of myself, okay? I know.
Alright. How many Jedi Temple Guards survived the Great Jedi Purge and joined the Inquisitorius?
I have no idea.
None, 1, 3, or 50?
1, 3, or 50?
Or none.
I'm gonna say 1.
1, okay.
It's probably 3.
It was 1!
Well, okay, I knew that. I mean, yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, of course it's 1.
Very good. On Endor, Leia was woken up by an Ewok named...
Wicket.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you're right. Didn't even need the multiple choice.
Nope.
One of these Star Wars...
Mom, more Hot Pockets!
One of these Star Wars movies was filmed entirely in the studio. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Because, I mean, the original trilogy, they bothered to get models and everything else. Some people were cold, but everything was blue screen. Everything was blue screen in the prequel movies. The Return of the Sith was all, yeah.
Documentaries, OP.
Well, I mean, it's stupid. You can tell everything is freaking GI or whatever it's called.
Yeah, CGI.
CGI, thank you.
True or false? In the original movies, only Jedi can use lightsabers.
Say what now?
True or false? In the original movies, only Jedi can use lightsabers.
False, because Han Solo is not a Jedi and he used a lightsaber to cut the Tauntaun open for Luke. He was one of the non-Force characters to use... He was one of the first non-Force characters to use a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Finn used one too, but it's up in the air whether or not he's a Force user or not.
Oh, this one's kind of easy. Oh, this one's very easy. Whose quote is this? Why, you slimy, double-crossing, no-good swindler.
That's Lando. He said that in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, good job. What color?
What color? Is it you British all of a sudden? Color.
What color was Sidious's lightsabers?
Blue and green.
Interesting. It gives the multiple choice: blue, red, green, or yellow.
Wait. Blue, red, green, or yellow? Mm-hmm. They were both blue and green. When he brought out the lightsabers to fight Obi-Wan, they were both blue and green.
Sidious's lightsabers?
Oh, Sidious? No, wait, I thought you said Grievous.
No, Sidious's.
Oh, Sidious, that's red. He's Palpatine.
Red. Okay. Yeah, red. Jesus Christ. Alright.
Sorry, I heard Grievous.
When is the unofficial Star Wars Day?
May the 4th? I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Today.
It's today, yes.
Vader's last words to Luke.
Who?
Darth Vader's last words to Luke.
Let me replay the scene in my head. Help me, no. Yeah. I already have, Luke. I already have. Tell your sister you are right. Tell your sister you are right. I mean, Father, I won't leave you. Okay, well, tell your sister you are right, I think.
I am your father. Leave me. I love you, son. You were right.
Leave me. Well, he said, leave me. No, I gotta save you. You already have, Luke. Tell your sister you are right. Okay. Sorry.
I am your father.
No.
Leave me.
No.
I love you, son. You were right.
You are right. Tell your sister you were right.
Okay.
That was the last thing he said.
Yep. Correct. Very good. What odds does Han have for successfully navigating the asteroid?
Oh, here, Empire Strikes Back. Never tell me the odds. Well, it's not Han Solo's odds. It was C-3PO's odds.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says what odds does Han have?
Well, Han would say, "Never tell me the odds." That's what he didn't. Is that an answer?
No. 1,000 to 1, 1,111 to 1, 3,720 to 1, or 4,855 to 1.
I'm trying to recall what C-3PO said. It's one of the thousands. I just don't know which it is. Just go 3,000 something.
3,720?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Even when you're not sure.
Well, C-3PO right. said that, not Han.
Yeah, okay. What color are Chewbacca's eyes?
Brown?
That's not an option.
What
Hazel, blue, green, or black?
I'm going to go with hazel.
Hazel? Okay. I would have said black, but hazel?
Maybe they are. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just guessing hazel.
Hazel. Oh, they're blue.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I want to give myself there.
How many times did Boba Fett fight Darth Vader?
He never fought Darth Vader.
Never?
Never.
1, 2, 10 fought? Never. So never?
Yeah, he never fought Darth Vader.
Twice.
When? What do you mean fought? You mean like battle? Like
yeah. How many times did Boba Fett fight Darth Vader? Twice.
Was this in the books? Because I've never seen that at all. They had harsh words with each other, like with Empire Strikes Back. You know, don't kill him. You know, he's too valuable. Like they had an argument in the one room where Luke was freezed or Han was freezed. But like, this is comic book crap that I'm not familiar with. Go ahead. Next question.
Which Star Wars movie gained the most Academy Awards?
I would imagine Empire Strikes Back, if I had to guess.
Okay. A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, or The Empire Strikes Back?
I would go with Empire. It was the more popular of them all.
A New Hope.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Empire Strikes Back a lot more than New Hope. I guess because the New Hope was more revolutionary, like it was the first of its kind. That's the only thing I can think of as to why it got so many Academy Awards, but I think Empire was, among fans, the most popular.
Which one's the New Hope?
That's the very first one, where Han and Luke meet for the first time, and, you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
On Tatooine, like... Han's parents, Luke Skywalker's Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen get burned, and he goes off with Obi-Wan, and I mean, I can see why it got it. I mean, I liked A New Hope, but I thought Empire would be up there. I'm surprised.
Which of these characters did not participate in the Battle of the Great Pit of Carkoon?
Never.
Luke
I don't even know what that is.
Skywalker, Han Solo, C-3PO, or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I'm gonna go with Obi-Wan. The Great Pit?
Yeah, of Carkoon.
I'm gonna go with Obi-Wan. He wasn't... go ahead.
Alright. Yeah, you're right. Wow. 14... Your result is 14 out of 20.
Okay. That's it?
That's it. There's no text. I wish there was.
And in parentheses, Mom, more Hot Pockets!
You got 6 incorrect and 14 correct. That's not bad.
I will take it, considering half of these questions were not even in the movies or any, So.
All right. I gotta know where... I'll research it later, but I gotta know where Boba Fett fought Darth Vader twice.
Yeah, that is... it's gotta be in a book somewhere. Real quick for you. Who built C-3PO?
Oh. Was it... Was it Luke?
No.
Was it Princess Leia?
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
Really?
Who built C-3PO?
Yeah, who built him?
I have no idea.
Little Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin built C-3PO?
Yeah, so Darth Vader, every time he looks at C-3PO, it's just weird,
Wow, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait a second. Did that show in that movie that I didn't see?
Yes.
Well, see, I wouldn't have known that because you never showed that movie to me.
Well, you don't want to watch it?
I've said many times I would have watched it, but you're like, oh god, no.
All right, fine, we'll watch it. If you want to watch Jar Jar Binks bounce around for an hour, I mean, it's great. It's great. And Liam Neeson's in it, so,
Yeah.
And which pilot survived all 3 of the original movies?
Wedge.
Wedge, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I would have never known that. Like years ago. Wedge Antilles.
Wedge Antilles, very good. I have to give you that.
He was even in... Oh.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he was in Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, he was. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
All right. Well, I don't know what else to say other than, I think we're done. Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. In the movie Dune, there's a giant sarlacc. That's what they remind me of. They call them something else, but those giant worms.
Oh, yeah, those worms that come out of the ground and eat the harvesters. At least in the video games. Yeah. Yeah.
They just look like Sarlaccs.
I can never get over watching Patrick Stewart in the Dune movie in the beginning. That I turned the movie off after that. I could not watch it. I mean, just on God, and then the shields come up and then they go flying. I just Google Patrick Stewart Dune fight scene. You'll know what I'm talking about, and this is why I didn't watch the rest of the movie. I cannot. Everyone has a cult fascination with Dune. I personally just cannot get into it. I don't know what it is.
It's a terrible movie, but it was really interesting.
You're really selling it. You're really selling it.
It was really interesting, though. Like, it's like one of those
train wrecks that you can't look away from, or what?
Yeah, kind of. It's like, why would you make this movie? Like, but it was really interesting. Like, huh? You gotta kind of watch it.
All right. Well, we're off. I'm gonna go upstairs and show her episode 1, and she's we'll be separated shortly thereafter because she won't want to be with me after that.
We'll watch it on ×2 speed. It'll be fun.
Oh yes, it'll be great. All right, guys. Well, this is Vince and Idalee. Thanks for watching, and may the 4th be with you. Catch y'all next time.
Hey guys.